All right, so let's talk about it. Cali, Colombia, the city everybody warned me about. Everybody told me not to go to Cali. Friends warned me, people online warned me. Hell, even my taxi and rideshare drivers in other Colombian cities warned me. See, it's too dangerous, nothing to do. Worst city in Colombia. So naturally, I went anyway. And in this video, I want to show you what Cali is actually like. Not the hype, not the fear factor, just my experience being there. So, why I decided to go? To tell you the truth, Cali wasn't originally high on my list. When people talk about Colombia, it's usually Medellin, Bogota, Cartagena, maybe Santa Marta. Cali almost always comes with a warning label. But that's actually what made me more curious about it over time. I kept hearing that Cali was more local, more raw, less polished. And as someone who travels around Latin America a lot, especially Colombia, that usually means there's something interesting beneath the surface. So I went in with low expectations, no romanticized idea of the city. And honestly, a little caution. So my arrival at the airport and first impressions. Flying into Colombia, you land at the Alfonso Bonilla Aragon, I think that's the name of the airport, which is actually outside of the city. So the airport itself was fine. Nothing fancy, nothing sketchy. Immigration was cool. And grabbing a ride into the city was pretty straightforward. But the first real impression hits you on the drive in. You immediately feel the heat, the traffic, the density, the rhythm of the city. See, Cali feels busy, loud, and very alive, but not in a touristy way. It's not like it's performing for visitors. It just feels like a city going about its business. Let's talk about the weather real quick. Cali is hot, no doubt. Like consistently hot. It wasn't really unbearable, but definitely something you could feel every day. It's the kind of heat that slows you down in the afternoon and pushes life and activity later into the evening. And believe it or not, that actually fits the city. Cali has this laid back but energetic vibe, like relaxed during the day and then it wakes up at night. Especially when the music and dancing are involved. Especially that salsa. Now, let's talk about the neighborhoods where I spend a little time. Spend a lot of time in Granada. Granada neighborhood, Granada is probably where a lot of foreigners will end up. It's walkable, full of cafes, restaurants, bars, and it feels relatively modern. Now during the day, it's calm, and at night, it gets lively without feeling completely out of control. So if you're new to Cali, Granada is a good option. It makes sense. Also, I spent some time in Chipichape. Now, Chipichape feels more residential and mall-centered. There's a popular mall there called Chipichape Mall. So when you refer to the city as Chipichape, well, a lot of people refer to Chipichape as just the Chipichape Mall. So Chipichape is quieter, more practical, and probably better if you're staying longer term or just want something calmer. So it's not as fun as a Granada or other neighborhoods in Cali, but it's comfortable. Now, other areas, Hey, there are definitely parts of Cali I like visiting, but wouldn't necessarily live in, and others I just avoid it entirely, especially as a solo traveler. Now, Cali is not a city where you randomly wander through neighborhoods without knowing where you're going. I mean, you don't do that anywhere, but especially not in Cali. So a little planning goes a long way. Let's talk about malls in modern Cali. Now, one thing people underestimate about Colombian cities in general is how important the malls are. Una Central is the largest mall in Cali. Then there's other malls like Mall Plaza. And these malls are modern and clean, air conditioned, and they're honestly just great places to reset, especially on a hot and humid day. See, malls may be dying in the US, but they're alive and kicking in Latin America. So you have to understand, malls in Colombia, they're not just shopping malls, they're social spaces, part of the culture. Now, I can't do a Cali video without talking about the salsa, baby. Salsa. A lot of salsa dancing in Cali. Yep, in case you didn't know, Cali is the salsa capital of the world. They don't play around with that salsa. Now, this isn't tourist learns to dance salsa. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Nah, player, or play it. This is real salsa culture. Music is everywhere. People are actually knowing how to dance. No matter if they're 8 to 80, duck, crippled, and crazy. Hell, even the taxi drivers know how to dance salsa. It's everywhere. And they don't dance to impress. They dance because it's just what they do. Now, salsa bars. Man, places like La Topa Tolondra, Malamanya, and Cimarron Salsa Bar are on another level. Hey, they got something going on practically every night. Live bands, packed dance floors, people sweating and moving and everywhere, and the energy is just insane. Even if you don't know how to dance, it's just worth going just to experience it. Just for the experience. So they got concerts and events, concerts and live events. There's always something happening. Live music, street events, random pop-up performances. There's even an outside salsa event called La Calle de Sabor, if I'm correct on the name. I did a video about it, but I got a lot of thoughts going through my head from visiting different places, so I think that's the name. So there's always something going on in Cali. Even just random pop-up performance. Somebody might just jump out the corner and say, I gotta do some salsa, baby. I gotta do some salsa. It's just in me. I'm telling you, that's how it is. Woo! So, hey, Cali is different. Cali doesn't really schedule culture. It just unfolds, baby. Now, let's talk about safety. The honest conversation here. Safety. Gotta be safe everywhere you go. Is Cali dangerous? It can be. Did I feel unsafe during my time there? No. I used common sense. I didn't flash valuables. Plus, I'm a seasoned traveler, solo traveler at that. And I didn't wander aimlessly at night. I used rideshare apps. I wasn't out there flagging random taxis. So I used my common sense. So honestly, my experience wasn't drastically different from other big cities in Colombia. In fact, oddly as it seems, I felt safer in Cali, and you probably would too, because you gotta understand, a lot of what's going on, a lot of this mischievous stuff and tourists getting harmed and stuff is going on in cities where they're targeting tourists. But being that Cali is not really a tourist destination, I mean, they rarely see tourists there. It's not as many tourists for target practice. So it's like, you just mind your business and going about your business. It's just not known for that, you know? Yeah, there's dirt that goes on in Cali. Dirt goes on anywhere. But yeah, there's dirt that goes on in Cali, but it's not really the tourist targeting type of dirt. You see what I'm saying? One thing I like is that Cali just doesn't hide its rough edges. And actually, that's what scares some people off. It just is what it is. They're just not trying to impress. They're not trying to impress you. And since it's not a tourist destination, they're really not trying to put on that song and dance. It's kind of like dealing with a real person over a fake person. Cali is like, hey, this is who we are. Accept us as we are. That's it. Okay, let's talk about the cost of living. Is Cali affordable? I say yes, especially coming from a Western comparison. I mean, anything compared to the U.S. is cheaper. But yeah, it's cheaper. And it's cheaper than a lot of other Colombian cities that I visited. Food is cheap. Transportation is cheap. Going out is cheap, especially compared to larger and more popular cities in Colombia. So you can live here without spending much, which is a huge plus if you're staying longer. Anywhere is cheap when you're staying for a couple of days or so, but when you're staying longer and you're doing slow travel like I tend to do, it's a month, maybe longer, then you need something that's really affordable. So I stayed in Cali for about a month, and I stayed exclusively in Airbnbs. There's plenty of solid options, especially in Granada and Chipichape. Nowhere I stayed, nothing I stayed in was luxury level or anything, but it's pretty comfortable and functional. And there's a lot of options, especially since it's not a city that's run over by tourists. And there are hotels there too for longer stays. Airbnb just made the most sense to me, and that's what I stick with right now. So let's talk about traffic and getting around in the city. Traffic in Colombia in general and traffic in Cali is real. You sit in it a lot. Walking works in certain neighborhoods, but overall, rideshare apps are your best friend here. Now, the food scene. Cali's food scene surprised me. It's not as hyped like some other cities in Colombia, but it's authentic. A lot of local dishes, street food, no frills restaurants. You just eat what the people in Cali actually eat. And I like that. So, I mean, there's food, there's all type of food. I mean, you find seafood, typical Colombian dishes like bandeja paisas and ajiacos and things like that with their own little twist and flavors. So my thoughts is that you can find good eats anywhere. A lot of people say, oh, food in Colombia is bad and this and that. Yeah, maybe it's something that you're not used to, especially the natural way that they prepare the food with all of the poisons and preservatives. But you can always find some good eats anywhere, at least from my experience. It just depends on where you look. Now, are there things to do in Cali beyond salsa? If you're expecting non-stop tourist attractions, Cali just ain't it. But if you're like me, you like cafes, salsa dancing, parts, sinking into the local and the social scenes, language exchanges, music and culture, and things like that. If you open your horizon, then there's plenty to do. You can find something to get into. See, Cali rewards people who slow down and participate, not just consume. So let's compare Cali to some other Colombian cities. Like, compared to Medellin, Cali is less polished, but more raw. Now, compared to Bogota, I say it's warmer and more relaxed. Warmer in the sense that the climate is warmer, and just warmer in the sense the people, the way they come across is warmer. And not saying that people in Bogota are mean, because I have a different opinion about that. They're more serious and more about their business, but that's another video. But I don't think they're necessarily mean from my experience. I met some great people in Bogota. But let's stay on Cali. So yeah, compared to Bogota, it's warmer and more relaxed. Now, compared to Cartagena, I say it's less touristy and more real feeling. And to me, it wasn't as hot in Cali as Cartagena. But I guess it just depends on what time you go. So I'll be the first to say, hey, Cali isn't for everyone. But if you want culture over comfort, it might be exactly what you've been looking for. So was ignoring the warnings about Cali worth it? Well, for me, yes. Would I recommend it to everyone? No. But if you're curious and open-minded and willing to meet a city on its own terms, the Cali might surprise you the way it surprised me. If you've been to Cali, hey, let me know what your experience was in the comments. And if you're thinking about going, hey, drop a question below. Drop a comment below. Let's talk about it. And if you want more honest boots on the ground travel content like this, then you know what to do. Be sure to reach out and smash that like button and subscribe, because you don't want to miss a thing. And until next time, remember, make every experience a rich experience. See you in the next one.